In 1903, Orville and Wilbur Wright took their famous 12-second flight, changing history and getting aviation off the ground. In 1914, the first scheduled air service crossed Tampa Bay. In 1918, the United States Postal Service took to the air. By the mid-1920s, the post office was flying 2.5 million miles a year, delivering 14 million letters. In 1927, Charles Lindbergh completed the first transatlantic nonstop flight from New York to Paris. In 1933, Boeing manufactured a passenger plane that held 10 people and flew 155 miles an hour. In 1969, Boeing put out the 747, which was the first wide-body jet holding 450 passengers. Since then, aviation has really taken off. A century after the first flight, there are tens of thousands of commercial flights every day, and aviation increases about 5% a year. In a century, greenhouse gas emissions from aviation went from virtually none to the 1960s, when there was some emissions but flying was a luxury for the well-off, to today, where everybody is in commercial flights that emit huge amounts of greenhouse gases. Then today, there are private charter, private jets, overnight delivery, crop duster, scenic and government and military flights that add thousands more flights daily, which also emit a lot of greenhouse gases. Aircraft accounts for about 12% of carbon dioxide emissions from United States transportation sources and 3% of total U.S. carbon dioxide emissions. The United States emits nearly half the carbon dioxide emissions from aircraft worldwide, and the Federal Aviation Administration predicts greenhouse gas emissions from United States aircraft will increase by about 60% by 2025. By mid-century, aircraft emissions are expected to more than triple globally, and it's not just carbon dioxide. Planes also emit nitrous oxides and water vapor, which are also greenhouse gases. In-flight meals are as disposable as everything else in society today. It is standard operating procedure for your meal to be delivered on a disposable tray or dish. Then the disposable silverware, salt and pepper and napkin come in its own plastic package. Then your canned beverage gets poured into your disposable drink cup. Then, when you are finished, all these disposables get thrown out. So eating on a plane is environmentally abusive, and these abuses weren't here 100 or even 50 years ago when we didn't have environmental problems. The environmental impact of aviation includes airport operations. As of 2006, there were about 49,000 airports around the world, almost 15,000 in the United States alone. Sure, a lot of these are small operations, but airports use electricity and heat, or today, they use air conditioning, which emits a lot of greenhouse gases every day. They also contribute to noise pollution that affect the surrounding area. This is highlighted by the United States Tennis Open facility that is across the street from LaGuardia Airport. During the tournament, air traffic is rerouted so it doesn't go over the tennis facility for one reason: tennis's quiet pleas and planes' incredibly loud noise. Eurostar reports greenhouse gas emissions from a plane are significantly more than from a train, with an average Eurostar journey emitting 1/10 the carbon dioxide an equivalent flight would. Sure, travel in Europe is shorter than other places like the U.S., where train travel would take longer, but this is an argument for U.S. high-speed rail, getting U.S. train travel time into the 21st century. But especially for travel in Europe, your carbon footprint will be significantly minimized by taking the train. Also, no disrespect to airlines who have a lot more weather and atmospheric difficulties, but but trains generally run on time, so you know when you will leave and arrive, emitting a lot less carbon dioxide. Today, it's not just people who are on flights. Overnight delivery that gets packages anywhere in the world flies every day too. It is reported that one major parcel delivery company has the second largest air fleet in the world, with just short of 700 planes. Then there is endless military flights and abusive military flyovers at events. There is also an ever-increasing number of private flights, and tourist places have scenic flights, even over national parks like the Grand Canyon.